Update time for your Apple iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max. I don't know if it's for the iPhone 14 as well, if they were experiencing the same issues. 16.0.2, the second update since launch. The first one was for eSIM difficulties, people having on the first day their eSIM not activating. That was out day one. This one was for stuff that developed afterwards that people started experiencing. We're going to go through the list now, and then I'll talk about why what you can see from the title of the video, why this makes Apple different. No software is going to be completely bug-free on launch. Certainly not with the comprehensive softwares and the complex softwares that they're releasing today on mobile devices. There's going to be things that fall through the cracks, but there is a significant difference to the way Apple handles it, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So what was going on? People were experiencing a few different issues, a lot of which I saw on Twitter. Number one was the camera shake, the camera noise using third-party apps. I think it was TikTok and Snapchat would go nuts when you were using your camera in-app. So they've gone ahead, and you can see here, corrected that. Camera may vibrate and cause blurry photos when shooting with some third-party apps on iPhone Pro and iPhone Max. Display may appear completely black during device setup. I didn't see a whole lot of that on Twitter, so that might be something that they caught and just corrected. Copy and paste. This one I did see a lot of on Twitter. I didn't have the problem with it, but I saw a lot of people complaining about it. Copy and paste between apps may cause a permission prompt to appear more than expected, and more than expected is a little generous. It was appearing just nonstop for people over and over and over again, and really crippling their experience. That they have fixed. And this one that got cut off, but actually when I thought about it, was more of a problem than I thought it was, addresses an issue where touch input was unresponsive on some iPhone 10, and then it goes on to say iPhone 11 products. And I have seen that, because that's one that people have highlighted a lot in criticizing the release of iOS 16, saying that it's really buggy, is that one, where they would get freezing and unresponsiveness in the middle of a text. I saw a lot of that. So that is now gone ahead and been corrected. A lot of people are going to ask about battery life, and that certainly is a big one. I'm still getting between 5.5 and 6 hours of screen on time per day from my iPhone 14 Pro. Compared to iPhones in the past, that would be good. Compared to the iPhone 13 Pro, it's bad. So make of that what you will. I'm a little disappointed because I had gotten used to absolutely outlandish battery life at a flagship level for the iPhone 13 Pro. So to take a step back when you're claiming that this is more efficient, your efficiency cores are better and all the rest of it, is disappointing, and they should fix it. But seen on Twitter now, people with the 16.1 beta, which is due out in a couple weeks, the full version of it is due out in a couple weeks, has mostly fixed battery life. So there must be a drain or an inefficiency with iOS 16, which has been consistent with what people have said, that now is going to be corrected in the next couple of weeks to get you back to that battery life. Let me tell you something. They get back to that battery life, and they prove that the iPhone 13 was no fluke, and that they could do that at a flagship level repeatedly, even with different versions of software. That's something that they could crow about. That's a win for sure, because that's unmatched on any side right now at the flagship level. There are some budget and mid-range Android devices with outsized batteries that could produce that, because they're either 1080p or they're 60 hertz, or they're the less power-hungry processors, or lower, more efficient Snapdragons, whatever it happens to be. They could get to that battery life. But on the flagship side, running the reactor at 100%, that's something that iPhone really for the last year or so has held to themselves. Now let's talk about the difference, because I see a lot of hate and a lot of nonsense on Twitter with Apple. And trust me, there are a lot of things you can hate about Apple. They do a lot of goofy things. They make a lot of goofy decisions. They're a little high-handed with it. They say, if you like it, tough, deal with it. If you don't like it, buy something else. All of those things are valid criticisms and stuff that we've talked about on this channel. The one thing that annoys me is a lot of people justifying problems with other manufacturers by pointing to Apple. Oh, look, Apple's got bugs. iOS 16 has bugs. Oh, I thought it just worked. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody criticizing. Keep that same energy when you're criticizing Pixel. Hold on now. Here's the difference. iPhone has issues. They had issues last year with iOS 15. They were solved within a week. 6 days, this. And the battery thing would probably be resolved within a couple weeks. That's the difference. Acknowledge it. Fix it. When Samsung had the issue with the S21 Ultra, the frame rate was going crazy and messing with people's phones. They were having issues with the FPS drop and all the rest of it. They had a beta solution out in a week, and with 2 weeks, it was solved. That's the difference. Acknowledge it, fix it. When people comparing iPhone and Apple and the way they handle software to Pixel, when the Pixel 6 came out, the end of October, I think it was October 28th, we didn't get a fix for the majority of the issues until January. And not only did we not get a fix for them, we didn't even get acknowledgement. We were told on the Google forums that we were imagining things. And they skipped the December update to put it in January, and then they fixed some of the stuff. 2 months. Almost 3. That's the difference. And then they claimed when there was the mobile drain or there was some other issue that they had a fix for it. They had a fix for it. But you had to wait until their designated day for updates. There's no designated day here. When Apple figures something out, they fix it and they release it that day. You don't got to wait a month. Google will be sitting there curing some disease, and they say, hold on. The people sick over here. No, hold on. You got to wait for your update day. You can't be, oh, come on now, don't get crazy. That's the difference. So I don't like seeing this nonsense on Twitter, and I don't want people influenced by the fact that say, oh, well, iPhone's got bugs. iPhone's got bugs. Oh, maybe I'll look at a Pixel. iPhone's got bugs. I like a lot of the stuff that they do on the Pixel side, but don't ever use the flaws that are in an iPhone that they do have. No one's saying they're flawless. Samsung has flaws. No one's saying they're flawless. But they acknowledge it, they work on it, and they fix it, and they release the fix when they have the fix. That's the difference. Get it? That's the difference. And I don't mean to seem more adversarial than usual, but I don't want consumers getting wrapped up in this nonsense that you see on Twitter a lot of times between whether something is fixed on one platform and not fixed on another. There's going to be bugs. You get an iPhone, you're dissatisfied. First day, you should be dissatisfied. That eSIM thing was a disaster for the first 2 or 3 hours. I got mine later in the day. It was fixed. And I understand people are saying, well, if you didn't have a problem, look, I get it. A lot of people had issues. Shouldn't have been a thing, especially since you forced it on us. Okay? That was one of those things that you could criticize Apple for. They just forced it on us. No choice, no nothing. Here it is. No SIM anymore in the United States. Don't like it? Tough. That could be a problem for a lot of people, legitimately. But the activation they fixed. So that's the difference. iOS 16.0.2, so far so good. I have confidence that they're working on the battery stuff. That's why they get a pass on a lot of this stuff, where other manufacturers don't, because they have a track record of working on it quickly and fixing it and releasing it in a timely fashion. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.